now, though, about the reaction to Gundogan, the reaction to this potential striker. And I've seen some rumors today of a late attempt for Nico Williams. We've seen the Lookman links. There's the reports in Italy of Victor Osimhen. And then the English media are saying you're not replacing Eddie Nketiah. How big a mistake, Igal, would it be for this to be it and no more business to happen at Arsenal?
I don't believe the English media in the sense that, because let's look at it. Let's just look at the simple math. We've shown our interest in many different attacking players, just like you've named. We even showed interest early in the window in guys like Sesko, for example. From the beginning of the window till now, we've shown that we want to improve our attack. Why all of a sudden at the end of the window they're saying, oh, all of a sudden Arsenal doesn't want to replace Eddie Nketiah? It's not replacing Eddie Nketiah. It's bringing in an attacker. It doesn't have to be another striker. It could be another winger. Maybe what they're saying is a little bit flippant, and they're saying, oh, Arsenal don't look at Eddie Nketiah needing an immediate replacement. But guess what? We can replace him by getting somebody in another area of the pitch, like another attacker, instead of just getting another striker. We don't necessarily need another striker to replace Eddie Nketiah. If Jesus left, for example, or somebody big left, then I could see potentially like a big name coming in. But at this moment in time, a winger like a Lookman or somebody like that coming in is not out of the realm of possibility. We just need to move on. Reece Nelson, I think that's possible also. And I don't think people have factored that in, that Arsenal's still trying to move out some players like Ramsdale, like Reece Nelson, some of these fringe players, even Kivior. So with more outgoings, it's gonna open up the picture of who we're actually gonna bring in. And I think people are just saying things that they're reporting right now because that might be a level of truth. But with more exits, there's gonna be a possibility of more incomings.
For me personally, how the English media are working right now, in my opinion, before anyone says like that, I personally think it's two things. One, like the English media, we have to realize the people that are putting out tweets and putting out articles and stuff, they're people, right? So they see the social media the way we do, and they know that putting something out like that gets loads of clicks because they know how the Arsenal fan base is online. That's the first thing. They know as soon as the Arsenal fan base, they'll melt down and it'll be everywhere, publishing everywhere, or Arsenal fans going crazy. Second of all, if you've seen the whole transfer window and the whole last couple transfer windows, Arsenal are quite tight now in the sense of Arteta's made the club quite tight. Information does not leak out of our club. Now, the English media only gets information from the English clubs, really. Yeah, so they're not getting it from our side. All the clubs that are getting information, all the stuff that's coming out are from the Italian publications, the Spanish publications and stuff. They're getting it from the other side of the Real Sociedads. They're getting it from the Napolis, the Bolognas. They're getting the information from there. That's why they're this season, this transfer window being the first to publicize it, because we're not giving that into the English media. The only person I feel like Arsenal gives stuff to is Ornstein. And that's why everyone gets so excited, Arsenal fans, when Ornstein puts stuff out. Even
David Ornstein.
Ornstein.
Yeah,
I know. I always
he added an extra syllable. I thought I was having a stroke. I wonder what was going on then.
I always do that. Ornstein, yeah. But like for me, that's why even yesterday you see it, yeah. All of a sudden, like Fabrizio Romano and Ornstein at the same exact time, literally, are tweeting two exactly different stories about the Nottingham Forest and the Eddie Nketiah stuff. Because obviously they've probably got Ornstein has probably got it from Arsenal, and he hasn't got that information from Arsenal, so he hasn't put it out. But we'll have to wait and see with the striker. I think we'll sign a striker personally.
On the Ornstein, he is, according to Matt here, he has come out and stated that Arsenal's next mission is a backup winger. If the mission is backup winger, who is that? What level of player is a backup winger to Arsenal? Because surely, and this is not any salt, I mean this wholeheartedly, a backup winger has surely got to be somebody who is better than Reece Nelson and has the ability to push Martinelli in Saka's position. So who is that individual? I'm going to go to Ram first on this.
They need another Trossard. That's basically the kind of player that they need. They can't settle for someone that happy to sit on the bench. They need someone that is actually willing to challenge the wingers that they've got already. And if they can find another Trossard, that would be great. I'm hearing people saying Nico Williams. I don't think it's going to happen. I think he signed that bumper contract with Athletic Bilbao, and I think he has his heart set on Barcelona or Madrid, either one of those ones. Kvaratskhelia, I don't see Arsenal putting out 80 to 90 million pounds for a backup player. That he's that good. Maybe this player might be the guy they might look for, Lookman. I think a good price, 35 to 40 M's. I'm quoting around about 35, 40 M's. Homegrown as well, which is also very, very handy. I think that kind of player would be decent, and I think he could back himself to really push on after having a really good season with Atalanta.
Terry, from the names that you brought up, Kvaratskhelia, no, I don't think Nico Williams is going to happen at this point. Let's be honest. We were interested in the guy who played for RB Leipzig, the Dutch player. What's his name?
Xavi Simons.
Xavi Simons, but that's not going to happen. Obviously, we were trying to get ambitious early in the window and talk about guys like Rashford and Leao. That's not going to happen at this point either. So I just think it's going to be a situation where it goes down to an opportunity to sign somebody like a Lookman or an Adingra. These players with potential, but are currently somewhat producing. Where I don't look at, I look at Lookman as probably one of the best examples of somebody who could be like a Trossard. I actually rate Lookman. Lookman is somebody who can play across the whole front three. He's not necessarily naturally a striker, but he can play across the whole front three. He can score goals. He can get assists. He can create for your team. He's somebody who can be a difference maker in those close games and come off the bench and make a difference and even start and make a difference. Also, he doesn't have a bad injury record. He's 26 years old. He's homegrown. He's played in the Premier League before. I know he wasn't the best when he played, but let's be honest, in an Arsenal team, you're going to have a lot better players around you, and you're not going to be as focused on as you would be with Atlanta. And it all comes down to the price. How much money is Arsenal willing to spend from now to the end of the window on that attacker? Eze is also available, but I don't know if they want him anymore, because that's somebody who we were linked to early in the window. There's just so many names, Terry. But one thing we need to get through our head is striker is not being brought up. I don't think.
What about Mbuemo though? On that right hand side.
Sorry,
Mbuemo on that right hand side. He can play up front. He can play on the right.
I rate Mbembo, but let's be honest. I think Lookman is a little bit better.
No, that's nah.
Who?
I butchered his name. It's Mbuemo, right? Mbuemo. How do you say his name?
Honesty, not Mbuemo.
Calm down, Rams. Calm down, Rams. You come out with the worst analogies every week.
Listen,
don't have a go at me. I'm just saying what you just said. Don't have a go at me.
That name's hard.
I think it's. I'll be honest.
So basically, what?
Go on, David.
I was going to say what Arsenal are looking for is someone like a João Felix to come in and push people.
No, I'm not going to lie. The difference is João Felix is a bum that doesn't know what position he can play at.
I see it being. I'm not going to lie. I'll be honest. I would not be surprised if it ends up being Sterling.
No way in hell. God,
no.
Please.
A gal
at Chelsea. I don't want nothing to do with him.
I'm not on a loan. I'll be honest, yeah. On a loan.
We want this. Listen, Sterling, talk to me.
I'm gonna be honest, right? I don't think Sterling would be that bad if we could get him on a loan or something. I think Chelsea fans will laugh. Chelsea fans butcher every fucking player, every other player they get. They look at what they've done. Look at when we got Havertz. Yeah. All right, cool. Palmer, one guy. Bro.
Modric.
You've butchered so many players. No, I just think if you think how he cooked and how Sterling himself come out and said under Arteta, he done his best seasons under Arteta, man management, bigged up Arteta so much at the Man City club. He's coming in. He's going to have a chip on his shoulder after what happened with the Chelsea stuff. I think as a squad player, as a guy to come in and push to get on the team sheet, he's not a bad shout. Once again, I would rather sign a striker. Like for me, I think if we get I still think we get the striker personally. So I think we might even be getting a striker and a winger. Like I'll be honest, yeah.
That's very ambitious.
I know you said that it's ambitious, but what's his name? Edu come out and said, like, I know this is obviously what he said, and we can't take everything for gospel, but he said Arsenal fans, they're gonna be happy come the end of the transfer window. We're all right now thinking we're not gonna do this, we're not gonna do that because we haven't been doing much this so far. Now Eddie's gone. If we were to get a Sterling online, I could see us getting a striker and a winger. I don't see why that's so far fetched. If only signed 2 players.
Can I ask a question?
I don't want Willian 2.0. I think
I get that. I'll come back to you in a second, Miguel. Henry, do you think Sterling could work at Arsenal? I've seen a lot of gooners online say, similar to Giuseppe, they think they might make a move for him because you're going to get him cheaper than what Chelsea want to get rid of him for. He's probably going to be willing to take some sort of pay cut because the scenario there is toxic, which we can get onto. Do you think he'd be a success at Arsenal?
Yeah. I'll give you 3 reasons why. 1, the Kai Havertz situation is very similar at the moment where he was at that football club, wasn't performing. There's a feel-good factor in the Arsenal dressing room, and Kai Havertz, towards the end of the season, improved. The second reason is Sterling's best goal contribution seasons, both of them were while, like Giuseppe said, Arteta was there. And I think he's the 3rd highest assisted player ever under Guardiola. 3, he brings a winning mentality into the dressing room as a guy that's won 4 league titles, 5 League Cups, an FA Cup. I don't think he walks in and starts. But as I've been saying for the last few months, I don't think Arsenal will sign a striker. They need a wide player. I personally think Sterling would do relatively well, but I think it will be Lookman, because I think Lookman can play the 9 role as well, and he's proven that at Atalanta. Performed in the really big games last year, hat-trick in the Europa League final, brace in the quarterfinal. I think Sterling would definitely, Arsenal will be looking at that going, and you look at it as well, how many players have Chelsea sold to Arsenal in the last decade? 10? 8? There's a relatively good relationship there. Like even the last couple of years, Havertz and Jorginho. So, Check, David Luiz, Willian, David
Luiz, Gallas.
Yeah, there's a
off the top of my head anyway. There's the top of my head, quite a few. Olivier Giroud the other way.
At like 35-40 million pounds. I think Arsenal will snap that up. Snap that up in a heartbeat. I think he'll take a pay cut.
Ashley Cole.
Fabregas.
Yeah.
Fabregas.
Yeah, me personally, if Arsenal take Sterling, I don't care, because ultimately, as Maresca said yesterday, he don't care about him either. But like for Arsenal, I can see why it would make sense, and I genuinely think half of it is just the reason why it hasn't worked out at Chelsea is because he's never been in a stable squad. I think if we literally verbatim swapped Arsenal squad and Chelsea squad, and you just put them in their different scenarios, I think the Chelsea squad would look a whole lot better than it does right now. I think it's just because of the situations that people are in. That's why certain people are struggling and certain people aren't. So, for me personally, I'd happily get rid of him, take him, enjoy him. I hope he helps you do whatever you want to do. But 45 mil in my back pocket really would help. So
I honestly think Sterling would cook. Sterling would cook for Arsenal. I think the kind of player that he is different to what Saka and Martinelli is. I think when he was at City, Guardiola emphasized that movement to him, how he gets in the right positions, and he had some form of a clinical nature. Wouldn't say he's as clinical as Trossard or better player than him, but very similar to what he's about. And I think given that you haven't got anyone else on that right-hand side, and he has played there. I know he's predominantly a left winger, but he can play on the right and has been comfortable on the right before. I honestly think that he would cook for you guys. He would really.
Sterling's better than Martin.
The only thing he's going to cook is our attack. 1 second. The only thing
Sterling's better than Mudryk, mate.
Bro, Sterling is going to cause disruption to our attack. I don't think he's.
No, he's not. You're being overly dramatic.
I don't think he's going to benefit us. One thing that I'm going to mention: Sterling is probably one of the most frustrating players to watch when he's on a 2-on-1 or a 3-on-1. His decision making is poor, even though at his current age, how old is he at this point? I don't even know how old he is.
29.
29. At the age of 29, his IQ is worse than somebody that was at 23. His decision making in the final third is poor. He's constantly messing up. And if you guys are frustrated with Martinelli's decision making, and you guys are frustrated with Martinelli, Raheem Sterling is the same thing or even worse, because he's gonna be on ridiculous wages. Unless Chelsea are fronting half the bill, it doesn't make sense. And we're not buying him on a permanent. There's no way Arsenal will take him at the age of 29 right now and bring him into the squad. We already have enough pieces right now. We might as well get another player who would actually be humble enough that you can build that
you don't know if
something like that, who I would view as a better choice. I think
why is Sterling not humble? Why do people say that about Sterling? Sterling's a humble guy.
He just wants to play football.
I'm looking at how he plays football, Terry. He is somebody who will hold on to the ball, make a couple extra touches, and try to go for the glory himself, then make the pass. I've seen it at Chelsea.
No, he's not.
I haven't seen that at City. But what I've seen at Chelsea,
Do you know?